guys, and welcome back to CRATES Gaming Studios. So this is prototype 5 bonus features. Want even more challenge? So you click here and this is it, and this is what it looks like. Live UI, the music, and then we had the hard pause menu, and then we have expert click and swipe. This is what the game looks like. I called it extreme pop crates. I use the step-by-step solution, which is here. So first you have to duplicate this, rename it to lives text, and align it to the top right of the screen. You press shift and alt and it moves the pivot and the alignment to the top right, and you can just change the position to fit the area that you want it in. Then change the text to lives. You can open up the game manager script, add in two new variables, one for the text and the other for the amount of lives available. Here's the text, that's these two here. Next, so just after the update score method, which is this, add a new method called update lives. So this is the method that we are going to add to this script. Public void update lives, int lives to change, lives plus equals to live to change, lives text dot text equals lives plus lives. And next, down to the game start method, just update the update lives, which is this. Next, open up the target script. So here's my target script. So there's the on trigger enter method, and we just have to change that update lives method to this, and need to add this in. Save the script and return to Unity. Look for the game manager in the hierarchy, live, drag it from your canvas and drag into that. Save your scene and you'll be able to play the game. And so now you have 3 lives. Next is the medium music volume. So here is my music volume. There's no music, so that's the only problem. So I'll have to show you what I've done. In the hierarchy, find the tile text canvas and duplicate this. Rename it to the volume text. There it is. Adjust the text field of the Text Mesh Pro text to say volume. Adjust the font size to 36. The alignments are here. And here is the position. X minus 150, position Y minus 100. Next, right click on the volume text game object to slider, and this is what comes up, but I have already done it, so that will be for you guys to do. Rename the slider to volume slider. The position is 165. So you can move it as far as you like, or as high or low you like. You can also change the color, so you can play around with these color figures. Next, select the game manager in the hierarchy, add the audio source. So we go to game manager. So you need to add this into the game manager. So audio source, you find audio source, just type it in audio source. You can make as many as you like, but there's no reason to. Here's the audio clip. So that's the audio I have added. There was no audio in this project. For some reason it's just not working. Also have it play on awake and loop. So go down to your text, volume text, go to volume slider and add at the bottom of the slider, which is here. You can add in the events that you need the slider to do. So you put on runtime only. You find the game manager, or you can just drag the game manager from there to here. You go to audio source, you go to play, and that will play the audio. Let me show you what that does. So here is the volume slider. This is the volume that you can play with. If you have this volume, it's now working, so it's moving the volume slider. So that's how you know this is working, but there's no sound coming up. The next one is hard pause menu. So it is set up as P, so you can see you can pause the game. Right click on the canvas, go to panel, there it is here. Rename the panel to pause panel. Change the color of the image component to a color of your choosing. So I've chosen black. Let me show you. You can use any color. Duplicate this, go down here, rename it to the pause text. Drag the pause text to the pause panel. Pivot and position is both the center. It's all set at 0. Next, make sure you untick the tick box, as we don't want this to be in the game. Open the game manager. In the game manager script, add 2 new variables: the public game object pause screen and the private bool paused variable. After start game method, create a new method called check for pause. So it's a void changed pause. If paused equals true, pause screen dot set active true, time dot time scale equals 0. So this means that it won't run any physics during that time that it is paused. That's what this means. Else paused equals false, pause screen dot set active is false, time dot time scale equals 1. So you bring the physics back so it can run those calculations. In the update method is check if the user has pressed the P button. If input dot get key down key code P, it will run this piece of code, which is this changed pause method. Save the script, head back to Unity. Next, select the game manager. In the hierarchy, you'll notice a new field called the paused panel. So you just have to take the pause panel and drag it into the pause menu, and once that's done, you'll be able to pause your game. So you can now pause the game as you are playing the game. The next is the expert click and swipe. In the project window, navigate to the script folder, create C# script. Rename the script to click and swipe. Open the script. So the first thing we need to do is add this in. Required component type of trail renderer, comma, type of box collider. This piece of code should be written before the class is declared. This code will ensure that a trail renderer and a box collider are on the game object the script is attached to. To give an idea of what's happening, here's my swiper object. These two components will be added automatically when this script is added to the game object. Next, define the variable needed for the script. Private game object, private camera cam, private vector3 mouse pause, private trail renderer trail, private box collider call, private bool swiping equals false. Next, void start rename to void awake, and then we need to add this in. So it's cam equals cam dot main, trail equals get component trail renderer, cold equals get component box glider, trail dot enable equals false, cold dot enable equals false, game manager equals game object dot find game manager dot get component game manager. Now we're going to set up the game object to move with the mouse position. We need to add this void update mouse position. So it's mouse push equals cam screen to world point new vector 3 input dot mouse position dot x input dot mouse position dot y 10 is for the z axis. The reason is the main camera is at -10, so we put it at +10. Transform dot position equals mouse pos. Next is the update component void update component trail dot enable equals swiping, cold dot enable equals swiping. Next update method, if game manager is game active, if input dot get mouse button down is set to 0, swiping is true update component, so that's what you're using that. Else if input get mouse up is set to 0, so that means that you're no longer pressing it. Swiping is false, update the component. If swiping, update the mouse position, so that's this here, screen to world point. Next, the on collision enter unity method, and if we collide with something, it needs to check whether it is the target. So it's private void on collision enter collision if collision dot game object dot get component target, and then you need to destroy the target. However, this is not yet able to be done because we have to set this method up. Just write this down, destroy the target. Next, open up the target script. After the on trigger enter method, add the destroy target method, which is what we will be using. It's essentially this, but this will make it more easy for us to read if you ever have to come back to this project. So we're just changing the name. We already have all the functionality we need within the on mouse down method, so copy that into the destroy target. So that's what the method should look like, and then comment out the mouse down method as we no longer need it in the game. So the easiest way to do this, if you don't know, if you need to comment something, you normally do that, but here's another. You put a / a star next to it. You put another star, and then you put the another / So save that. That's all commented out. Once this is set up, the destroy target, you can just come back to the click and swipe script. Collision dot game object dot get component target dot destroy target. Must make sure this is public, or it won't be able to get the target. And save this. Go back to Unity. Make a new game object. Rename the game object to swiper object. Take the click and swipe, drag it into this. As soon as you do that, these two components will be created simultaneously. Okay, so the trail renderer, you want to move this to 0.4 and drag this down to 0. Change the time to 0.25. This, so 0.25. You don't want a very long trail. Go down to your materials, click on this little circle, go down to the default line, click on the default line, add that in. Next, adjust the color of the sail by double clicking on the color. Brings up the color gradient, and then you can change the color to whatever you like. So I have it set as red, black, gray. So you can change the colors. It's like very unique to my project. You can make your own. The next thing we have to do is change the box collider. You have to change the X to 0.5, Y 0.5, Z 0.5, and also change the center. So if you have it like points, if you play with this, what's the box? You can see it's not following the mouse. So make sure these are set to 0, or you're gonna have some issues with that. If you're not too sure what I'm talking about this box here, and the box is now in the center. This was the last project for this Unity course. If you have any issues, let me know. I'll try to help you as best as I can. The links for these learning courses will be in the description below.